you put out something that you believe is designed to help people and to try and you do the best job you can, right? I try to help as many people as possible. And when somebody has something negative to say, it still hurts because I'm so invested, I'm so passionate about what I'm doing that you know, it still hurts. Every day I have struggles, and something I say to myself every single day that I get up. I've got the same thing I say every single morning. I look at myself in the mirror and I say, don't fuck it up today, because I've worked so hard and I've given every ounce of my soul to this platform and to try and help people at the end of the day, that I just don't want to fuck it up.
So have you got fear that you will then?
Oh yeah, I fear every day. If I go to bed and like some days I come close to messing it up, no, I have fear that it's all gonna vanish. I have fear that it's all gonna go away. And
do you think that will then take away that validation again?
Yeah, absolutely.
So if I was a competitor brand to a brand that you normally promote, and I said, here's double the amount that this brand pays you, would that be something that you would take? So welcome to another episode of Behind the Reel. This is, to be honest, the episode that I wanted. So I'm very grateful to be here with Aaron Marino. And again, this interview series is really showing influencers in a different light, kind of trying to get to know them a little bit more than maybe what we see on social media. So we go back to 2010 and
long time. We will go back to a purple scarf.
And Aaron was someone who helped my business massively, because when did you start on YouTube?
2008.
So 2008, and what was YouTube like in 2008?
2008, it was a wild west. It was early. I think YouTube started in like 2006. Yeah. And you know, when I started uploading videos, I had no idea what to expect. I think the first time I uploaded a video was the second time I was on YouTube, and I was just like, hey, this is a platform. I've got some things I want to possibly say, and let me upload a video. And so it was very different back then.
What was the intention though? Because obviously, you know, seeing, you know, the growth, how many subscribers have you got now?
Yeah, like 4.8 million. Yeah.
You say that in a
4.8 million.
And you should, and
I've worked hard for every single one of them.
And this is the reason why I wanted to do this with you, because I've seen that growth, and I think with influencers, a lot of people might see Aaron now, and they make a judgment of what you're doing now. They don't see the, you know, how many years.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing. A lot of criticism comes my way these days because of the amount of advertising I do, and most of my videos I do have a sponsor. You know, what people fail to realize is that, you know, for the first 5 or 6 years that I did YouTube, I didn't make any money. It was just, you know, I started it because I love it. I continue to do it because it's the only thing that would make me, at this point in my life, it's the only thing I want to do. It's the only thing that makes me happy.
What was, if we go back to the first video, what was your intention? Like, why did you upload the video?
Yeah, I started an image consulting business. I had a very bad financial situation. My fitness center closed. I filed bankruptcy. I was driving a beer cart. All sorts of like horrible things.
That was like a
super low point. And so during that time, I was like, hey, you know, let me try and see if I can be an image consultant. This was before like Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. This was way back then, and I would do research, and I was looking for, you know, basically I'd go online. This was early days online, really, 2006, and I was looking and I was like, okay, what resources are out there for regular guys just to look good? I don't have a style background. I'm not the most stylish guy in the world, but the only thing and the only resources back then were things like GQ and Esquire. Yeah. And so I thought, hey, maybe there's an opportunity for some just regular guy to come in and help the gentlemen that are like my friends and my dad and my uncles and people that are just not worried about high fashion. They just want to know if things look good and what to wear. And so I started an image consulting business and you know, advertised it through Google AdWords, and this was back when you could actually advertise for less than like $100. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. My budget was like $300 a month, and I was getting clients that were flying in from all over the country, and And I was like, this is incredible. In 2008, my wife got me a video camera as a Christmas present. And it sat in the box. I didn't know what to do. I thought she was just freaky. She was. She wasn't.
A tripod as well?
Exactly. No, just the camera. She's like, "What do you get the guy?" And that was 2008, so it had like a little mini like cassette thing that went in there, and I mean it was old, right? And so I started. I thought to myself, you know, maybe I'll try this YouTube thing, and I'm sure that there are a lot more guys out there that, you know, just want to look good, that don't necessarily want and fit the mold of a GQ or an Esquire. And so the first video was just to say, hey, I'm Aaron Marino of Alpha M Image Consulting, and
it wasn't as polished as that, was it?
It was not as polished. Well, the funny thing, my early videos, most of them are down now. They had to be like 2 minutes because I didn't know how to edit anything, and I did everything on this like little like chip, and so literally I had to memorize and just get it out, and it was like one take, one clip, and yeah, they were not polished, but they were terrible.
So did you, again, this was obviously pre, like we say, influencers. This was pre knowing that you can make money from YouTube. So was it purely doing it because you enjoyed doing it?
So what happened, I uploaded my first video, and immediately I knew that I had found something that I wanted to do, because I think for me, my whole life, I think I've been searching for like validation, right? I didn't know like what success looked like. You know, back when I was younger, I wanted to own a fitness center, and that was the only thing that would mean fulfillment, happiness, and success for me. Well, when that didn't work out, I didn't have a plan B. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what success looked like anymore. And so when I posted that first YouTube video and somebody asked me a question, it was the first time they asked me a question about, hey, I'm a big guy, you know, I don't know how to dress. Do you have any tips? And so my second video was about how to dress as a larger man. And do
you remember how many views that first video got?
No, I did. It was not many, but it was. But yeah, so I posted that. I got a question, and I realized that I found my home, because for the first time I started getting, you know, comments. I found a community, and I found my voice. And I think that's the other thing. You know, that I struggled with self-confidence the majority of my life because of some abusive stepfathers and a lot, you know, some divorces and you know, some of the things that happen when you're young really do a number on you. And I didn't have the tools to deal with them at the time. And so, you know, I think just searching for that sense of fulfillment, and then finally having a voice on YouTube and a platform where people were engaging and appreciating me, and I felt valued for the first time really in my life, it was like, this is it. Like, I'm done. Like, this is what success looks like.
And I think that's a great point to pick up on, because, you know, people might see you now and say, oh, you know, he's running successful businesses, he's got these brands, he's doing sponsorships, but, you know, you explaining the reason why you started this in the first place is the fact that you wanted that validation, the fact that you didn't have any confidence, the fact that, you know, you was in a really dark point after, you know, a business didn't work out. And I think that shows the intention of why you started creating these videos, you know, the purpose of originally.
And it's still the reason why I create these videos. It's because I love giving back and helping people. You know, there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of downside to YouTube from an emotional perspective, just because it's hard. It's hard putting yourself out there and being a creator, and you know, and I haven't figured out a way yet, because I'm so like I'm so invested and I love this so much. I haven't figured out a way to develop skin thick enough to where the negative comments and you know, negative videos and stuff like that.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think? Because you've been doing it for so long, and you've had plenty of, you know, YouTube is quite a. I always say YouTube is probably the most brutal platform in terms of comments.
Absolutely.
I had a comment this morning as well, but why do you think that you're still maybe struggling to deal with some of those comments?
I don't know. I think criticism is never fun to hear. And the truth is, you're always going to have it, right? There are always going to be people that don't like what you do. But when you put out something that you believe is designed to help people and to try and you do the best job you can, right? I try to help as many people as possible. And when somebody has something negative to say, it still hurts, because I'm so invested, I'm so passionate about what I'm doing that you know, it still hurts. Like,
and it's also
crazy.
personal to you, isn't it?
Oh,
it's not
God.
like they're criticizing your brand, they're criticizing you.
Dude, YouTube criticizes everything. I mean, I make the joke that you could teach blind kittens to read, and somebody would have a problem with it and want to tell you how you're a horrible person. And so, you know, you do the best job you can at the end of the day, you know, but the negative feedback, it definitely still stings and it hurts, and there are days and weeks where I can't, like, get out of my head just the negativity, and it's hard at times, but, you know, you sort of double down on the fact that you are doing something to help people, and then you get that one comment, two comments that's super positive, and it brings you back into, you know, focus, and okay, this is what I do this for. And so,
yeah, and I mean, if we touch on that now, so where you're at now, and, you know, it's inspiring to see, because again, seeing you in 2010 to now, and the kind of, you know, success that you've had, is there still times now where you doubt yourself, or you know, you have down times? Because again, it's people see you and they might be, you know, nearly 5 million subscribers, you know, doing extremely well for himself. His life's perfect.
Yeah,
Is that the case?
Yeah, life's absolutely perfect, no problem. No, oh my God, no. You know, like anything. I mean, what people see on YouTube and what people are posting on Instagram, it's just not reality.
Yeah.
It's a small snapshot of somebody's life when it's good. You know, every day I have struggles, and something I say to myself every single day that I get up. I've got the same thing I say every single morning. I look at myself in the mirror and I say, don't fuck it up today, because I've worked so hard, and I've given every ounce of my soul to this platform and to try and help people at the end of the day, that I just don't want to fuck it up.
So have you got fear that you will then?
Oh yeah. I fear every day. If I go to bed and like some days I come close to messing it up, no, I have fear that it's all going to vanish. I have fear that it's all going to go away. And
do you think that will then take away that validation again?
Yeah, absolutely. No,
but then like back to the beginning of.
Oh yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's. I'm so happy with where I am personally. Like I've never felt more fulfilled, more successful from an emotional state. You know, the other thing that, you know, for me, money has never been a motivator. I've never been interested in cars and things and stuff. That's never been the reason why I wanted to be successful. At the end of the day, it was about making a difference. It's about helping people. I'm an entrepreneur, though. That is something that I am an entrepreneur. From the age of 12, I knew that I wanted to open a fitness center. Like, I knew that I wanted to work for myself. And so,
is it freedom as well? Is it like the same with me? For me, it's not about money. It's more about the freedom and being able to, you know, be creative and do your own thing, rather than being conformed to like a job and having to work a 9 to 5.
Absolutely. I couldn't do it any other way. I mean, it was, I love business. I love the freedom. I love being your own boss. Now, that being said, entrepreneurship is not for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, that's, like, it takes...
It's lonely, it's, you know...
It's lonely, but being an entrepreneur means that you're going to have to face some things about yourself. You've got to have a different stomach, because, you know, everybody sees the success, right? Like, everybody's like, oh, you know, and right now Gary Vaynerchuk has really done a great job making, like, entrepreneurship cool, right? Everybody's hustling and doing amazing things and posting pictures of, but to be a true entrepreneur, you're going to have to endure things that are very, very uncomfortable, and you've got to be willing to go places that most people aren't willing to go. And it is hard. It's hard on your family. It's hard on you personally. You know, the amount of sleepless nights I've had throughout my life. I mean, it wasn't until I was 35 until I didn't, like, every single day stress out about money. You know, it was 35 years old is when I looked at my bank account and I had $5,000. And that was the first point at which I felt like I've made it. Like, I'm successful. I didn't think about money. And when that happened, it opened up my mind creatively, because, you know, for the longest time, when you're so focused and fixated on making ends meet and just struggling for money, I mean, growing up on welfare and then never having any means, you know, and when it's a very difficult thing to always be in the back of your head wondering how you're going to eat, how you're going to make your car payment, how you're going to...
I can relate to that, yeah.
And so it takes up so much valuable creative energy. But when I finally had $5,000, it made me not think about money for like one day. And I realized, I'm like, I didn't think about money today. And it was life-changing, because all that bandwidth that busy thinking about money and how I'm going to make it and how I'm going to survive was able to be used for other things, like being creative and being helpful and passionate and compassionate. And it really was that was the moment where everything sort of changed for me.
And I think as well that point is, I believe that we compare ourselves to the end result. So for example, like looking at you from a business perspective, I'd look at your business now, your results you're getting now, and I compare myself to your end result. The same with, influencers. We're scrolling through, let's say it's a fitness influencer and they're in great shape. We just look at like the end result, the goal that they're at, not, before.
Yeah.
So how do you think social media affects, we spoke about it a minute ago, but how do you think social media affects mental health?
I think social media is doing a number on confidence, on self-esteem. I think it's actually hurting people, to be completely honest. For me, have to take myself off of and limit the amount of time I spend on social media platforms. Facebook, I pretty much don't go on anymore. And the reason is because there's a lot of toxic energy in there. And for me, Facebook, seeing a lot of people like fighting and bickering, and then seeing that snapshot of people's lives like perfect, it made me think to myself, and when I look at Instagram and I say, wait a second, my life doesn't look like this, and it makes you question your reality and where you are personally and professionally, and it's absolutely, it's something that I can't handle. Like, I know myself. I need to, sort of focus on the good and focus on making myself, better every single day.
Yeah.
But yeah, social media, I think, definitely is having a negative impact on.
But then it's a double-edged sword, because then social media is so effective as well for your mental health. It helped you start this business. It helped you find validation. For me, getting across the message and you getting across your message. So I think. Do you think it's like a lack of education on how we use social media that's causing a lot of the issues?
I'm not sure if it's education. I'm not sure if it's just nobody trained us, right? This whole thing is new. Social media, this whole internet thing, I mean, it's relatively new.
Yeah.
And you have all these young kids that are very impressionable that this is the reality. I didn't grow up with Instagram. I didn't grow up with the internet. I didn't have a cell phone. And honestly, I am so thankful that I didn't, because it allowed me to work on and develop relationships, friendships, get active, be outside. I mean, it was a different time when I grew up. And so, I am very thankful that I didn't have the pressure that you guys feel today. And young and even old people and people older than me and guys my age, the pressure is tremendous to succeed and to
look a certain
way. And if you don't have six-pack abs, you've failed. And if you don't have a Ferrari, you're not successful. At the end of the day, I really feel like, for me, what I've found is that as long as I feel like I'm making a difference and I feel like I'm impacting the world in a positive way, like, that's what happiness to me is. It's helping. And all of the stuff, all of the material possessions, there are amazing things that happen when you are financially successful, because you don't have to worry about money and you can take care of people and you can contribute to the world in a positive way. But yeah, social media is tough, man. It's really hard.
So obviously there's a lot of negativity around, influencers making money from promotions. And one thing that has made clear to me over the last couple of days is, and as you've just said, it's not about the money. So if I was a competitor brand to a brand that you normally promote, and I said, here's double the amount that this brand pays you, would that be something that you would take?
No, I've got amazing sponsors and amazing partners, and I really truly feel like, with the opportunity that I have been presented and the fact that I can work with brands that I love, that I've worked with, for the past 3 years, 4 years, that have come back to me every single year, you know, it's a relationship. I have had an impact on some of these small brands that come and they don't have much money, but you love the product. You start promoting it, all of a sudden their business grows, and they're like, oh, okay, let's do it again. And as you help them, like I've got people like Anson Belt, one of my absolute favorite.
Yeah.
Anson Belt. Exactly.
I was speaking to David, and
no, amazing.
He was saying that it's just the relationship that you've built, and he knows that you're turning down his competitors because you want to continue that.
I get belt companies. There are other belt companies that are similar to Anson Belt in terms of the whole system that reach out that have offered twice as much money as they paid. I don't want to do it because I, as an influencer, have a reputation and I have integrity. Personally, I have integrity. I know that there are a lot of people that would disagree with that just because they don't agree with what I enjoy or what I like.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know, I absolutely love the brands that I promote. Something else that you know, people need to realize is that when I choose to work with a brand, it needs to be right for my audience.
Yeah.
I need to love the brand, and it needs to be right for my audience. I absolutely love the brands that I work with, and you know, one of the brands that I get hate on all the time is Movement. The thing that people don't really, you know, recognize, or they don't care. It's not your. What I care about, though, is, you know, I've been promoting them. They were like the first watch brand to ever work with me back in 2015.
So for you, it's more.
It's about these relations.
Yeah.
I'm an Italian, right? I'm an Italian from Philadelphia.
Yeah.
It's
they
about
are loyal.
we are loyal people, and so. You know, the fact that I can work with brands that have been loyal to me, that I get Christmas cards from, that say thank you for helping out, thank you for being a part of this. I don't care about, you know, the other belt companies that are reaching out and trying to spend more money just to have you promoted. It's about, for me, it's about loyalty, it's about integrity, and at the end of the day, it's about what's right for my audience. And that's it.
From my personal perspective, you know, again, connecting with you in 2010, you did that sponsorship for me, you know, for free, and it was before, obviously, you were getting any sponsorships, but I saw the effects of that video, and I was astounded by how many sales you made from just creating a video in your bedroom. And then since then, you know, we've just continued to connect, and it's just been, I think you did another sponsorship for me a couple of months later. I did an interview with you, and it's, you know, we haven't been best friends, but we've continued to connect and kind of help each other out. And I think as well, on that point, there's a lot of influencers that aren't entrepreneurs. And I think the difference between some of the influencers that I might know is you're an entrepreneur. You've started businesses from this that have probably are doing better than the sponsorships that you get. And I think, again, going back to the beginning and the reasons why you started this because you as an entrepreneur. It wasn't because you just wanted to make money from it.
Correct. No, absolutely. I'm an entrepreneur. That is what gets me up in the morning. That's what gets me excited. And yeah, I've been very fortunate to, you know, to sort of capitalize on, you know, opportunity. Typically, it's I see a need for something that isn't being fulfilled, and so I create it.
And we were just in the fulfillment, you know.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of influencers will create brands, but you've created businesses. You know, you've got systems. I've got
employees.
And it's not you're just coming out with a t-shirt brand and trying to make money from it. You're creating businesses.
What I'm trying to do is build something that is going to be around for a while. You know, YouTube is a tough animal. It's always changing. You never know when people's taste is going to change. And so for me, it's about the journey. I love getting ideas. I'm a creative guy, and I love seeing if I can do something. Once a business kind of reaches a level of success, or it's sort of running itself, I typically will start another business. And it's like, okay, well, let me see if I can do this.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's just something where I'm an entrepreneur, and so I'm going to look at things through an entrepreneurial mindset. Back to the YouTube and sponsorship, I put out 4 videos a week. I could put out 20 videos a week if I could. I have sponsorship opportunities for that many, but truly it's about, if it was about the money, it would be about, you know, just putting out as much content as possible. But I've got to be true to myself, and it just, at the end of the day, I want to put out content that I believe in. I want my videos to stand on their own. If you took out, or you take any of my videos, chop out the sponsorship, which are typically 90 seconds, take it out, put it together. The video is a great video.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I'm doing the best I can. Is it perfect? No.
That's all you can do.
Yeah.
And I think I want to ask you two questions to finish up. Is one, have you got any advice for someone that maybe wants to become a YouTuber? Or, you know, I think YouTuber is the #1 job that kids want to be nowadays.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give?
To start, you know, for YouTube, it has changed my life and my happiness and fulfillment and sense of purpose like nothing I could ever imagine possible. And the amount of joy, I always get emotional, I always cry whenever I talk about stuff like this because of just realizing like the impact that I'm able to have and what's been given back to me, not from a financial perspective, but from an emotional and just the feeling of accomplishment and success. Like I said earlier, you know, for me it's about helping people, and YouTube is going to change your life in a way that you have no idea. And I just beg you to start. And I think what holds us back is the fear of not being perfect, the fear of just not knowing and seeing other people and like, well, I'm not as good as that. Just put the first video out there. When I look back at my illustrious 10 to 11 year YouTube career, it's still an evolution. I look at videos I did two years ago, and I'm just like, oh my God, what was I doing, right? And I just say, start.
But that's one thing I admired about you, and I said it in my talk yesterday, is, you know, I saw you in 2010, and I thought, I can do what this guy's doing. It's just in his bedroom talking about scarves, and I did it, and then I deleted it. I did another one, I deleted it, because it was pure worrying what people thought, and also perfectionism. And then 5 years later was when I put a video out, and by that time you had, you know, huge amount of subscribers. Antonio was around, you know, I think Jose was around. So it was, for me, the reason why I didn't succeed on YouTube as much is because I didn't start. Whereas you
it's all just about starting. And if you've got something to say, if you've got a perspective, it will find its audience. You just need to be true to yourself. That's something else I'd like to just mention real quick, is that when I really felt like my YouTube success and connection really scaled is when I dropped the shit, right? When I started YouTube, I was looking at other like creators that were being successful, and it was at that point it was people that were being very edgy, you know, cursing a lot, being very just outlandish. And so I thought that's what you needed to do in order to be successful. And so I started saying things that were racy and trying to put on an act more to appear, or basically just appeal to what I thought people wanted. And when I stopped that and I dropped the shit and I just was honest and vulnerable and open and myself, that's when things started to scale. And so
I think influencers need to be more like that, especially on Instagram, because it is very perfect, you know, and they're not being authentic, they're not being vulnerable, and that's something that, you know, you've been in the past, and I think that engages with your audience a lot more.
No, absolutely. The minute you sort of drop the act and just be you, that's what people want. People don't want some polished, perfect version of you. They just want you to be you, because that's what's going to connect them to you. And I mean, it's an amazing relationship, and it's a gift that if you get started, you're going to reap the rewards for, but you got to start.
And then last question. I know you've had some really, you know, bad times yourself and points that have been hard to deal with in your life. What advice can you give to someone that's maybe struggling right now from your perspective?
Don't give up. That's the only thing you need to do. Understand that it does get better. And I know, like, for me personally, like when my fitness center failed and I was driving a beer cart and I was filing bankruptcy, I mean, it was really dark, right? I had no idea where it was going to lead. I had no idea if or how it could get better. But if you just keep moving forward, day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, you're going to be amazed at how amazing your life can actually be and get. But you got to just not give up. Don't let the darkness overtake you and overcome you. Just put in the work, realize that it will get better, and it sucks right now. Be around and surround yourself with people that love you, and get the toxic, negative people out of your life, because they bring nothing but hardship, and they're going to prevent you from moving forward. Surround yourself with people that you love.
He's an amazing guy.
I love you.
Appreciate
Thank you,
it,
man.
Let's stand up and have a hug.
Oh, there we go.
Otherwise, I just want to, thank you for your time and inviting me out to the event. And like I said, 2 years ago, you took a big risk.
Not a risk on you.
Go talk about depression in front of everyone, and that was the first time I'd ever shared it in public. So, I owe a lot to you, man.
No, man, I owe a lot to you. Guys, thank you so. I'm doing an exit to my video. What am I doing? Thank you so much for watching, guys, and Paul is an amazing guy, and anything you ever need, you just let me know, because Paul and I go back the furthest on YouTube, and it's just been amazing to that's the other benefit. You connect with people that are amazing, and you need more amazing people.
And that's the benefit of social media. I think it can bring community and it can bring great connections. But I just want to say thank you again, and thank you for watching or listening, and go check out Aaron, although you don't need to. He's got enough subscribers already.
I can always use more. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, guys.